Hey everybody, Chris D here, continuing along our Winter Spectacular with my 10 more amazing games. Tom is going to do 10 more great games, so I'm going to do 10 more amazing ones. These are 10 games that are not on my top 10 of the year, that are not on my top 10 surprises of the year. 10 more amazing games. You can think of this as basically kind of like my 20 through 11 of the year. So let's kick it off with, I'm going to go from 10 to 1 though, for my old mental brain process to make this list easier for me to read. And number 10 is a game called Origins, The First Builders. This is by Board and Dice, a company that really impresses me. I like the heavy, crunchy Euro games they come out with. This one is a cool dice drafting-ish dice manipulation game. It uses the little feet, or the little like dice holders you plop the die into that I first saw it in Coimbra, and I think it's used pretty well in this game. It's interesting. You can't do everything. There's a lot of good options. There's tracks. There's powers that you want to unlock. There's ways to send dice permanently away, but they'll give you, an ongoing benefit. I really like it. Think of this almost like a T game in their T series. Think of it as Torigins if you must. But my number 10, Origins, The First Builders. My number 9 is a game called Mystic Paths. This is by R&R Games, and I like this a lot. The cover and the components do not make you think a word game akin to something like a Code Names-ish style game. And I don't know why it is with these plastic wizard miniatures that you have a base that you leave behind on the previous space you came from. I don't know why component-wise it is what it is, but it's a really good word game, even though it feels like it's made from leftover components sitting around in a warehouse. But if you haven't tried it out, this is a fantastic party kind of word-style game. Mystic Paths, my number 9. Number 8 is a game called Cora, Rise of an Empire. This is by Yellow Expert Line. I think this is a good game to kick off this expert line. I'm curious to see what the follow-ups are going to be. Cora is it's an action selection game that uses a dice mechanism, but it's about building up, moving up these tracks and collecting these different tokens for endgame scoring. And it's a civilization-y theme to it. I think it works pretty well. I think it looks pretty sharp even though there's a lot of tan on it. This game, like I said, looks good. Fun colors, fun action selection. I really like it. So that's Cora, Rise of an Empire. Number 7 is Cascadia. Cascadia is a very cool double drafting, I guess you would call it, or packet drafting. You draft from a lineup of 4 things, but there's a landscape tile and an animal. I don't know if there's like a solidified name for this mechanism, but I like it where you have to draft this landscape tile with the matching animal that came out that round, and they're randomized, so you can't always plan to get what you want paired with what you want, but when you do, it's so satisfying. Or when you have a way to say, ooh, I needed that landscape tile, and this animal I can make work somewhere else. And so it's a fun, thinky game, similar development team behind Calico, but I feel like this one's more open, this one's easier, more breezy, so I really like it a lot. Number 7, Cascadia. Number 6 is Old Tray. Old Tray is a cooperative game by Antoine Bausa, by Studio H, if I believe, and they make this interesting game that feels more like experiencing a story. It's mechanically solid, but I feel like what's neat about it is kind of experiencing the story together and having some good decisions to make. It's a lot luckier than I want, but for some reason the charm of the game outweighs how luck dependent I feel like a lot of it is, and I want to keep exploring it. So that's Old Tray, my number 6. Number 5 is Wishland. Wishland is a theme park building game. It's worker placement with a few unique little twists to it. There's 4 actions in a round and then 7 rounds to the game. And it's one where you choose when to pull your workers back. And the fact that you don't pull your workers back automatically at the end of 4 actions when you move to the next round means that you have some really good choices. When do I want to pull them back early? Do I want to wait until the start of the next round? But new cards come out of the market at the start of the round. This is a really charming and really, really lovely game, Wishland. My number 4, 7 Wonders Architects. 7 Wonders Architects. This is the second Antoine Bausa game on the list, actually. This is 7 Wonders in theme, and a little bit you can see the mechanical carryovers, but this is a much simpler game, and it is a different game. It is, instead of simultaneous card selection, you can pick a card from the middle of the table or from your left or from your right. It kind of keeps that idea of your neighboring players kind of have some influence on what you can do, and I like that. Really charming, plays well with kids, but it's also engaging enough that you can play this with plenty of gamers, and they'll have fun with it. Number 3, Terraforming Mars Aries Expedition. I do not like this one quite as much as I enjoy the original Terraforming Mars, but it is quicker, and I think that there's a few things they cleaned up nicely. The art is also better in this one, and I like the simultaneous action selection. I appreciate that they threw in a 2-player cooperative mode. I find that one interesting to play, and it's particularly because I think that this game with a simultaneous action selection is good at 2, but maybe better with 3, maybe 4 or so. But I like this one quite a bit. My number 2 is a very beautiful game called Canvas. I just taught this one recently, and Canvas is I've said the word charming so many times, but this is a very light, very simple game, very mechanically simple, but what it does is it makes you have only a little bit of time to make the best collection of paintings, and I feel like that's really, really engaging. It's not tight or strenuous, but you do sometimes hope, like, ooh, I hope I can afford that card, I hope it can kind of get cheaper, or I get some of these tokens to pay for it. And when you make a beautiful painting, you display it to everyone at the table, and it's so satisfying. Win or lose, it's just a really, really fun time. And my number 1 game for this, 10 more amazing games of 2021, is Cryo. Cryo is a worker placement game. This is by Luke Laurie. I've found that I'm enjoying his stuff, and it makes me want to look at more of his designs as well. Cryo is about these droids trying to save humans in a ship, but if you can use those humans to generate you some electricity and some resources in the meantime, maybe you'll collect them later, right? But they are victory points, so I want to go save humans eventually, but if I can use their body heat to generate some resources in the meantime, great. It's a funny theme, but I think that it's executed very well. I really, really like this game. One of the things that it does is you place out workers, and that's great. When you recall your workers, you also activate some abilities. Love that mechanism. I would love to see it more. And so that's why this is the number 1 on this list, Cryo. So, hope that was helpful. 10 more amazing games from 2021. Let's keep it going.